Hi guys. Today I want to talk about a new healing modality. I have mentioned on this page before that I typically like to go into poetry or into writing when I'm having a really difficult time expressing some really intense feelings. Today I want to give an example of why poetry, why literature has become such a healing modality and why it is healing through creativity. A great example is this book that I got in an old thrift store with my aunt. This is a collection of poems and stories by E. E. Cummings. This is the first book that I have ever had of his. I've actually only come across a couple of his poems here and there. But in the beginning of this book, I got it because I wanted to read some about him and just kind of see who he was as a poet. Obviously, he has kind of rested in this namesake of like the greats, right, in poetry at least. And so that was what kind of brought me into it. But in the beginning, there is this beautiful transcription that I'll read to you. It's September 22nd of 55, and it says, "To Joel, with my fondest regards, take this and me into your eyes, into the remembrance of sudden laughter, and the felt greenness of leaves dying etched in red. Tremble it into memory of love and the girl soft behind darkness, where we can forget the funny face things of our Aurelius. Take this as when you lie dust crumpled over dead, there will be the by touch of life on your soul. There will be the lip touch." That's what it is. The lips touch of life on your soul. And I think just even in that little transcription, you can feel this essence of that person, right? Of their soul, of the love that they had for this person. And I think that kind of expression in general is just beautiful and wonderful and makes humans. It kind of goes into the prior conversation that I had about expressing, being able to just authentically express who we are, what we feel, what makes us us, what has impacted us. Those things, I think, by nature are healing. The fact that we are able to feel, that we have the opportunity to express in that kind of a way, and that we have opportunities to build connections out of those things, is wonderful. And I genuinely believe that those are the kinds of connections that do heal us, that do pull us into betterment, into impact, into purpose even for our lives. So with that being said, I'd like to maybe read one together and kind of just go from there. I picked out a couple of them, and I don't know which one is the right one to share with you today. And maybe there isn't a right one, but there was one that I read quite a while ago that talked about community, and I loved it, but I'm not sure that I can find it back. Bear with me. This one is great. It's just sweet. I haven't read it before, so we're experiencing it together the first time. It says, "We love each other very dearly, more than raindrops need sunbeams or snowflakes make possible Mayflowers. quite eyes of air, not with twilight's first thrushes may awake, more secretly than our, if despair should some world selves. No doing shall undo, nor madness, nor mere death, nor both who is, Laguerre. Your me or simplify my you, darling. Sweet this creative, never known complexity was born before the moon, before God wished himself into a rose, and even will adventure the into most immemorial of winds before each heartbeat which I am alive to kiss. I think that there is just there is something about being able to be an artist in this world. And I think that maybe that's a conversation that I would love to be able to provide in a more detailed context. So maybe that's a different video. But in a short manner, it is my belief that artists are born into this world to be able to provide an opportunity for new perspectives and for growth and for perspective. They are able to view something in a lens that potentially has not been viewed that way prior, or maybe it has, but regardless, they have an essence or a capability to summarize and to conceptualize, that's the word I want to use, to conceptualize what it means to be a human. And maybe that artistry, it depends on what kind of artistry, I suppose, is purposeful for that artist, right? Like maybe it's photography, maybe it's poetry, maybe it's music, maybe it's murals, whatever it might be. But they have this unique opportunity to conceptualize humanity. Maybe it's where we are right now. Maybe it's the beauty of humanity. Maybe it's the need for humanity to grow. Maybe it is the opportunity to provide critique in the way that we operate in humanity in order to try to create more profound depth or new perspective or new lenses. But with that being said, again, there is this uniqueness that artistry has, and the ability it has to leave an impact, a blueprint, a mark. And it doesn't matter, in my opinion, whether that mark is ever given its merit or not, right? The art was created for the sake of the art being created. And the fact that it was created, the expression itself, makes it art. And if somebody gives it its flowers later, then it's all the more glory, right? And to me, I think that that is kind of a running joke in artistry, that a lot of times, like, you're not gonna get your flowers till you're dead. So many famous artists didn't have the kind of fame or notoriety that they had once they died. And the obvious examples are Vincent van Gogh and Picasso and, you know, some of these other people that maybe had some merit, but their value exponentially increased the moment that they were gone. And now we utilize their works of art as milestones for where humanity shifted or progressed, where art was renovated and rebirthed into something new. But while it happened, right, like while they were expressing initially, when it happened, they were still providing art. And as they were doing that, they were simultaneously building self-understanding, self-awareness. They were unintentionally providing all of these things for the world, for the genre, for whatever you want, all the things that we just talked about, right? Like for society, for the Renaissance, for the rebirth, for the whatever. But those were all implications of the act itself. And the act, in my opinion, the actual reason that art is created by artists is so that they have an opportunity to understand the world that they live in. They have an innate need and desire to create in order to make sense of what is around them, in order to build language, in order to build perspective, in order for them as an individual to heal in themselves.